Welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jonathan Giles. Welcome along. On tonight's show, Monday, April 8th, we'll be reviewing our latest Premier League fixture versus Roberto De Zerbi's Brighton side at the Amex. Also, just like to mention, coming up on August the 9th, Elevate Events presents an exclusive event featuring Liam Brady, Ray PARLOUR and Paul MERSON at the Clayton Hotel, Warrington Road, Friday the 9th of August. Go to universe.com/events for tickets, selling out fast, as I've been told. Tickets range from €53 for the silver, 108 for the gold ticket, and 308 for the platinum ticket. Shout out to our fans of Pepsi, thirsty for more. I'm joined this week by my regular guests, a fresh looking Craig Smith there. How are you?
All good, Johnny. Great to be back. It's been a while.
He's gone over WhatsApp group, but he's always welcome back here.
Right. I'm just on sabbatical.
He's ready to join Westlife or Boyzone, looking at that fresh face on him. Welcome back, Craig.
Thanks, Johnny.
I'm also joined by Eamonn Donnelly. Who are you this week? Is it joking here?
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, Craig. Evening, Carl. Just very little in the cupboard tonight there. I just had a can of Campbell's meatballs and some crispy pancakes. Probably have some ambrosia cream rice after the show there. We're all good. Yeah, good and at it, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's good to have you back on, Eamonn. Thanks for coming on. And I'm also joined by my UK guest, Carl Ozzy Osborne. How are you, Ozzy?
Good evening, Johnny. How are you, mate?
Not too bad. Carl did feature on the North Bank Summit, so I don't know whether we call him a traitor yet.
It's a guest appearance.
I noticed their views went down, so it could be the last time you're on it. But you're always welcome here, Ozzy. The thousands of viewers we get here. You reeled them in for us.
None of us will call you Judas, Ozzy. We won't do that. We wouldn't do that.
I'd just like to say thanks to Conor McNamara for coming on our last show for the Invincible show. We got good views again, and we hope to have him back at the end of the season for a season review. Hang
on a minute. Conor McNamara's on Match of the Day. You don't get no abuse for going on a different show. What's going on here, Johnny? What's going on here? You're having a moan about me.
He brings us luck, Ozzy. You don't. I know you're a slag in our eyes, but a nice slag. Looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as always.
I'm your slag. That's what it is.
We won't say anything about Little Dick on this show. Back to the more serious business now, and we go straight into a review of our 3-0 away win over Brighton at the weekend. Saka, Havertz and Trossard. Kai Havertz rightly deserved the Man of the Match award. The key points from it, the first goal after half an hour, when Gabriel Jesus was fouled by Tariq Lamptey. A clear penalty, I think we'll all agree. And Bukayo Saka just gets better and better, taking penalties. That's 17 goals now for the season, 13 in the Premier League. So he's on some run of form over the last couple of seasons even. The 43rd minute, Julio Enciso of Brighton had a save, really well saved by well saved by David Raya. How he got to it, the reach on him is just incredible. And then in the second half, literally from the kickoff, he saved again from Enciso when it was still 1-0. But on the hour mark, great play by Odegaard to play in Jorginho, who set up Kai Havertz for another easy tap in. That's his second goal against Brighton this season for Kai Havertz. He's only going from strength to strength. And then on 86 minutes, the third goal, Trossard against his former club, ran the length of his own pitch nearly from our own box, and a superb lob over for broken of Brighton. That was our fifth away Premier League clean sheet in the league. That was the first time since 1997. Another good performance from the lads. Following up from a 2-0 home victory against Luton, which me and Eamonn were at. We both said ourselves that we looked very tired on Wednesday from all the effort we put in against Man City on the Sunday for the 0-0. The way the result ended up yesterday against Liverpool and United, that was a very good draw in the end, it looks like. Leaves us top, play 31, goal difference of 51 and points 71. Liverpool are second with 71 and City are third with 70. Since it's your first time back in a while, Craig, what did you make of the performance on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought it was another great performance. Going to the Amex was always kind of a tricky game. We've only won there once in the last kind of few years. Now we beat them last year 4-2.
Yeah.
That was a kind of end-to-end game, but this game is kind of completely different where, we kind of just controlled the game from the outset. In saying that, though, initially the first 10 minutes, Brighton kind of did take control and kind of pinned us back. They kind of targeted the left side. And I think once they seen Zinchenko was starting, they were always going to go that side, Zinchenko would be, less defensively minded, say, than the likes of Ben White. So, Dingert, the right winger, was, going up and down that wing all night. But I thought, to be fair, Zinchenko had a decent game. I seen he got a little bit of stick online, but I think he always does. What Zinchenko offers us going forward is unbelievable compared to the likes of Kivior or Tomiyasu. So he's a big asset to have. I thought then, after the first 10 minutes and we kind of seen what their game plan was, he kind of took over then. We had 5 or 6 chances in that first half where, I thought we probably should have made more of them. Especially the second minute, Gabriel's header. I thought he should have definitely scored that. It was kind of a free header. He probably didn't realize how close he was, to the goal, and probably thought he was going to get clattered when the keeper came out. And then we had another chance with Saka then when he cut in on the Brighton fullback, and probably should have scored. I expected it to go in. I think Saka initially struggled in the first half, kind of came into it a little bit in the second half, but I still think he's kind of managing that injury he has. As far as I know, I think it's the Achilles.
Yeah.
And, the Achilles can kind of flare up from time to time, so I think he's just going to manage that throughout to the end of the season. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. And he'll be okay for the run in. But and then I thought Jesus then missed a good header as well. I think it was Saka's ball in, or maybe and Jesus just didn't. I think he just mistimed it. So we struggled for the first 10 minutes. I think at half time then. When we got the penalty, it was a clear penalty, by the way. I don't know what the debate was or why VAR took so long. Like the Brighton player, Lamptey, hit the corner of his ankle and he got
cracked his foot from the ball, didn't he? You could see, yeah.
I just don't know what the debate was, and then you have to even. I don't want to hop at the Liverpool Man United game yesterday, but to me yesterday that wasn't a penalty for Liverpool.
No, it wasn't. No.
Really, kicked the Man United player.
Yeah.
But, we won't talk about Liverpool. It's always they're always the
victims.
So, but yeah, people are debating their penalty, but they won't debate yesterday's penalty in the Liverpool game. But look, that's another debate, I suppose. But second half then, we came back out and played our football. I thought Havertz's goal was absolutely excellent. Saka was down injured. Jorginho, who you don't expect to see right wing, going around the Brighton defence, played a great ball in to Havertz, and it was a great finish by Havertz. Look, I know at the start of the season, maybe a few of us were. I know I was in particular, was very critical of Havertz when he was playing in midfield. But honestly, since the turn of Christmas and him playing up front, he's been absolutely exceptional. There's all this talk about getting a striker in the summer. And I think, myself and maybe a few of us talking about maybe do we need a striker in January, but he's been absolutely brilliant, absolutely terrific. His hold-up play, his runs in behind, his finishing, we couldn't ask for better. And the performance he's given now might actually question whether we will go for a striker or not in the summer. I think I think potentially go for another winger to kind of help Martinelli and Saka out. But look, that's probably discussing for the summer. You know, the last 20 minutes then, once we went 2-0 up, we kind of just sat back and said to Brighton, let's, you know, you still have the ball here, you attack us. But, you know, we're that confident now in our defending that we're allowing teams to have the ball and attack us because we know we probably won't concede. Saliba and Gabriel, again, absolute rocks at the back. And Ben White had another unbelievable game. I actually can't speak highly of Ben White. He's probably the best right back we've had at the club since Sanya. You know, different players, but Ben White, he was centre back, played a bit in midfield for Leeds. They play right back for the last 2.5, 3 years. He's been absolutely brilliant, and he should be playing for England. But you know, Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland and that, we won't speak about that. I'll let Ozzy talk about that later on. He might know more about the English team than me. But yeah, look, you know, Trossard come on then the last 20 minutes. As I said on this podcast multiple times, I absolutely love Trossard. I just think he's such a good player. You know, he was a great boy.
What do you think, sorry, Craig, couldn't cross you. What do you think Trossard brings to our game that's different, you know?
I think he just brings a bit of calmness. You know, he's 28, Trossard. You know, in terms of comparing him, say, to the likes of Martinelli. Martinelli's a bit gun-ho, full of energy, you know, still a young footballer, whereas Trossard's kind of, you know, has a lot of experience on the side. And just, you know, there was a game 2 or 3 months ago when we played Forest away. I think we were 1-0 up, you know, and Trossard just come on and just calm things right down when it was getting a bit chaotic. You know, it's that sort of stuff that we'll need going into the run-in. Hopefully, you know, going for the title. You know, when you're 1-0, 2-1 up, you know, in an away ground particularly, or even at home, you bring someone on like that with the experience just to kind of keep the ball, go into the corner and not, you know, play at some hospital ball or just give the ball away stupidly. I think he brings that. And to be honest, he's probably up there where, you know, maybe Saka, he's probably the best finisher at the club, Trossard. He just, the goal he's had since he came to the club has been brilliant. And for 27 million, I just think he's been brilliant. But yeah, look, overall, a fantastic win. 7 games to go in the league, and you know, it's great just to be involved because, you know, as I mentioned, the last 5, 6, 7 years supporting Arsenal, you know, going back 5, 6, 7 years ago, weren't kind of great at times. But you know, looking back at last year and this year, you know, what a team we have, and they're all, you know, 24, 25 in the prime of their careers.
Yeah.
If we add kind of, you know, another couple of players onto that in the summer, then, you know, God knows where we're going to go, and we should stay there for the next 2 or 3 years, please God.
Briefly as well, Craig, do you think Kai Havertz deserved man of the match?
100%, 100%. Yeah. I thought Odegaard played well. You know, again, Rice as well was brilliant, but Havertz' movement in behind and his finish, he just gave Lewis Dunk a torrid evening.
Yeah, he's gone. He's adding goals now to his game, and he's having an all round. His hold up play is excellent as well. Yeah, I tell you, he had another strong game on Saturday. Coming on to you, Eamon, our very own Conor McNamara, who was on a couple of weeks ago, quoted, the reason Arsenal are in the title race has got so much to do with their hard as nails defence, and he did mention that on the podcast as well. How impressed were you on Saturday, Eamon, with that away performance?
It was their best performance of the season. I look back at a couple of highlights packages today. We could have won the game by 6. Right? One thing that struck me recently is the stature of the team, the physical stature of the team, and the emotional state of the team. So, you know, we are a very, very strong. We are physically much stronger than last season, even with the same guys. I know Declan has added to that, but we're physically much stronger because, as Craig said, guys are coming into their prime, right? But also, we're emotionally and mentally much stronger.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's down to the manager, because he's emotionally and mentally much stronger, because we've got a manager with a capacity to learn because he's such a rookie, right? And he's an intelligent boy, Arteta, right? And he has learned, and the team has learned with him. And this crowd are on a journey together. Whether we come up short or not is not the issue. I believe that we are absolutely clear what we want to do in the summer. That we have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. We've all the guys that we need tied down to long-term contracts, right? We're going to add to that. And Craig is right. We have the potential of the top 3 teams at the moment. If you look at all of the environmental factors between financial fair play, changing managers, we have the potential among the top 3 for the most improvement where we are at the moment. So that's the first thing I'd say. Second thing I'd say is we realized, well, the manager and coaches, it's not just the managers, the coaches as well, right? Realized during the second half, these are not going to lay a glove on us, because gone are the days when we go 2-0 up and then you go, oh, Jesus, you know. We decided halfway through that second half, because you can see on the bench cam the instructions he's given the players. We decided we're playing Bayern Munich on Tuesday, right? We're 2-0 up. You're not going to score against us. And sure, if we get a bonus ball, like they lose possession in the middle of the pitch, and we punish them, great again, because our goal difference, we're not chasing goals now, you see, right? And I was really impressed with the ability for that in-game tactical switch. It was a complete tactical switch, right? Once we went 2-0 up, we decided we're going to let them have the ball. We actually made a conscious decision to let them have the ball, and we saw that out comfortably. One thing I noticed, the bond between the players is very strong, and that's cultivated by the management team. But the bond between the players and the manager is very strong. And again, if you look at the pictures after the game, it's particularly strong between Arteta and Odegaard. If you look at the body language, and this is what Klopp developed at Liverpool. You know, the body language between Arteta and Odegaard, and obviously Odegaard is a respected captain. So there's something really, really clicking there.
Eamonn, did you notice on Sunday, the game on Saturday, that even before the match started, the team talk, you had Rice, White, and Jesus all talking in the team talk. So it just shows how many leaders we have now in that squad.
Absolutely. 100%, Craig. I was watching the game with a West Ham season ticket holder from Bromley in Kent, who happens to be my brother-in-law. I watched the West Ham game first, and then the Arsenal game out in their house. And he made the comment when it was 0-0 at how good the Arsenal were in tight spaces. The combinations that we played in tight spaces, you know, it was just like control of the game. We're going to score at some stage. No need for panic, you know. They targeted our left side. Craig is right.
Yeah.
They saw Zinchenko on the team, and they tried to do a quick switch onto that side. And they got a small bit of joy out of that. But what I liked about Zinchenko's performance, I was critical of after the Luton game. And I know what you said, Craig, about he gives us so much more going forward. To my mind, at the Luton game, it was almost as if he thought he was a better footballer than he is, in that he was trying to find gaps that didn't exist with passes and trying to force it too much. He did simple things quickly and well. There was no 8 touches or 9 touches. He was very good on the ball, and that was good to see, because he's a real option when he's doing that. Just a comment on the second goal, and you mentioned Jorginho going there. You see, a cuteness has developed in this team, an absolute cuteness. Why was Jorginho there? I'll tell you why. Because he spotted the fact that Saka was down, and the Brighton defenders parted like the Red Sea, or the whatever say it was in biblical terms. And hang on a second, everybody's ignoring that space there. I'm running into that gap.
How good was the ball from Odegaard?
But your Christy Brown could have hit that ball.
Not as good as you, Eamon.
Christy Brown. I mean, what happened was the Brighton defenders decided, well, Saka's down in the heat. The crowd are booing. The Brighton defenders split, right? Martin Odegaard has the ball at his feet. What's Jorginho going to do? Here. He could have had a brandy, you know. But the cutback for Havertz was absolutely sensational. It looked simple on the TV, but Havertz is arriving with two defenders. And he puts it in the only place that he could where Havertz is going to get a toe to. It was a brilliant goal. Getting on to Havertz, I take slight issue with everybody saying since he moved up to centre forward after the so-called reset. Remember, he was our player of the month voted by the supporters in November. This has been brewing for a long time. Havertz is now in a position where we were all kind of going, he's only one bucket away with 2-game suspension. We don't want him to be suspended for 2 games. That's how much that one's turned around. He's actually irreplaceable in the team at the moment. He really is. He's playing sensational football.
Statement that, yeah.
And I think it's worth reflecting on the comments made by a couple of the Luton people after the Arsenal-Luton game, which I was at, as you know. Rob Edwards said, you look at them, you're trying to find a weakness. Can't. And then you look at the bench they have, right? The second thing was, and I should remember his name, the lad who had 2 unfortunate cardiac incidents, the captain.
Tom Lockyer.
Yeah. What he said about Havertz was, it's impossible to mark him because, you know, he presses up against you and then all of a sudden he disappears out deep and then all of a sudden he's running back in where he came from. But the difference is most players only make 1 run. And if the ball doesn't arrive, that's the run done. Havertz makes 2 and 3. He's relentless. He just keeps trying to run into the right spaces. And if the ball doesn't come, what does he do? He runs again. You know, and that's coming from a fellow pro from a different team saying, you know, so that, you know, they see what's on the pitch. So I'll finish up by saying, if you take stock of where we are, when we missed out on the top 4 in May of 22, right? After a fairly good season, given where we'd come from, if somebody had said to you, within 2 years, we'll be leading the league, albeit by goal difference, against Liverpool and Man City, and we'll be facing into a Champions League quarter-final, relatively optimistic, people would have said, you are delusional.
People might still say we are.
People would have said you are delusional. That is where we've landed, and we're here for the long haul. We're here for a few years with the way that structure is set up. We're in great shape.
Gary Neville told us 2 years ago that 4th was the highest we could finish ever. We're Arteta.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's wrong, and he's already wrong. But sure, Gary Neville, in fairness to him, looks as if he should be still in Grange Hill or something, you know? Yeah.
He found management easy, didn't he, Gary Neville?
You're a lifelong Gooner, Eamon, and you've seen many of these title challenges over the years. How confident are you that we could win the league with 7 games to go? Do you think we can do it?
I'm hopeful. But I think Man City are the favourites. Because I think Man City are the favourites not only because of their run-in, but because of their know-how.
Know-how, yeah.
But, you know, but I'm telling you, the gap between those 2 teams now is minimal. It's minimal. You know, when you have, and let's not talk about Man City too much, but when you have them moaning that we felled them rotationally and gave them a bit of dog on the pitch, that's when you know they're beginning to look at us and worry. Plus the fact that if you look at the structure of Man City, they're still dependent on Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne in a big way. And those players are going over Autumn Hill, you know. So I'm just saying, I'm hopeful that we can do it this year. The one thing I will say is, Arteta and the players certainly believe they can.
And if it goes down to goal difference, I think it's down to be won down, hands down by yourselves. And if we had beaten City last weekend, that would have been City completely out of the title race in my eye. But Spurs don't have a big part to play. I think they play all three of us, don't they?
Yeah.
In the run-in. Yeah.
I think, yeah, Johnny, I just touching on what Eamonn said, whether we win it this year or not, I'm not sure, but I don't see Man City not winning every game. Like, they're going to win every game, I think. The 7 fixtures they have, if you can pick fixtures, they probably would have picked them 7 to play.
In what respect do you mean? You reckon that they'll walk them, or?
I think they'll win the seven games they have left.
I think Spurs will be the one. I think Spurs will be out to get them. I think that style of football Postecoglou played. He struggled again at them at the Etihad. That was 3-0, wasn't it?
We're getting ahead of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if I was a Liverpool fan. Here's what I'd be thinking. I want Arsenal to beat Bayern Munich, and I want Man City to beat Real Madrid, and I want the two of them to drain each other out over the 2-leg semi-final.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's lots of twists and turns yet. I don't think City will win the 7 games, Craig. I really don't. I think there's a toll on Man City that wasn't there last year. That they're not as good, you know.
No.
But would you be confident that we finish ahead of Liverpool, Eamonn?
What's that?
Would you be confident we finish ahead of Liverpool taking out Man City?
It depends. It depends on the Champions League, Craig. You know, I mean, if we happen to get knocked out against Bayern and it didn't shake us up too much, and they ended up playing Real Madrid over 2 legs and Bayern over 2 legs, and we had a straight run at Liverpool, we're the better team than Liverpool.
Yeah, hands down.
1000% we're a better team than Liverpool. Liverpool aren't a great team, personally, in my opinion. They have very good finishers. The likes of Salah, you know, a couple of leaders in the team that have brought them on this far. But
in fairness, Klopp has done an amazing job this year
to
get them where they are, you know.
But yeah,
I agree. If we get
it is. It's nothing short of remarkable. Yeah.
If it's ourselves and City, that obviously plays in Liverpool's hands. But I just look at Liverpool's 3 away fixtures in a row in 6 days to go to Italy, Fulham, and Everton away in a 6-day period. I see them drop the points there in either one of them, Fulham or Everton. And
yeah, but you say here's the thing, and I know Ozzy is bursting to get in there. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think we all need to slow down and drink in a moment in time. The moment in time we have is that we're sitting on top of the Premier League with 7 games to go. Yeah. And we can put that to bed until Sunday. Because guess why? Because we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's so good. And I think
it's great to be interested.
I'm going to say one little thing to you, right? In 1971, when we won the double, Frank McClintock, who was our captain, he'd been beaten between Leicester and Arsenal in about 5 or 6 Wembley finals. And they won the double in 71. And he couldn't wait to get up the steps, right? And all of his teammates were saying to him, Frank, calm down, slow down, take every bit of it in. But Frank didn't. And Frank always says, any interview we ever see, you've probably seen it for you, was he? You know, said he said he was an empty shell. He said because he just went up and took the cup and said he should have savoured the moment. So my advice to all Arsenal fans is we are in really good shape. Let's go from week to week and see where it takes us without doing all the calculations, you know.
Yeah, I think Mikel Arteta would be very proud of that team talk, Eamonn. I feel more grounded than I ever was. I really am. I really am moved by that. If everyone just drank beer and Moretti, everything will be okay. Now, Ozzy is itching there. I can see he's bursting at the seams. Ozzy, unbeaten now in 11 games since the January restart. How impressive was that performance on Saturday against Brighton?
Yeah, look, the lads have covered quite a lot of ground already to what they've said, but it's Brighton away, right? I was already nervous about his fixture. I think rightfully so. Any Arsenal fan would be lying if I said they weren't nervous about that fixture. But you know, when you look at their home record, they haven't. You know, it's the second game they've lost at home, right? And the previous game was West Ham in August. So that's the sort of side you see. And you don't forget, as we talk about dropping points, that Man City have still got to go there. And I know we made it look fairly easy on Sunday, but it's not an easy place to go and get a result, right? So Man City has still got to go there. So yeah, we was right to be nervous. I sort of you went for the goals. I think one of the things I pointed out with that Trossard goal was, and I'm going to talk about him as well, but Kai Havertz, that pass that Kai Havertz put through to Trossard and put him through. If Odegaard had been doing that, I've been talking about that for weeks. It's similar to the one he put through for Martinelli that time.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's a hell of a pass, and the awareness of Havertz, and that just shows you a player oozing with confidence. And I know me and Eamonn have said before about Kai Havertz, when you've got, it was just that lack of confidence, that extra touch on the ball, that extra second, that extra hesitation. There's a lot of confidence there, but I've sort of, you know, I've been looking at Kai Havertz, and Eamonn's touched on a lot of points here about his ability to sort of find space and making the runs, and make, you know, they pointed out after the Luton game, but he does make a lot of good runs. He's got an ability to find a lot of space on that pitch, Kai Havertz. And sort of to summarise it, really, for me, looking at Kai Havertz, was it the fact that Kai Havertz learned how to play with the Arsenal, or did we learn to play with a player like him? Because I generally feel that, like, some of the runs he was making, he was finding a lot of space before, but we never found him as much. But then that sort of links in when Jorginho's playing, and there's no coincidence that Jorginho is playing more and we're seeing a bit different Kai Havertz, because is he picking him out? Is he you know, we have seen a good run of form of late of Kai Havertz, and Jorginho has played a lot of those games. So you know, I think the ability to pick him out, I think the ability he's making those runs, he probably always was making those runs, but the fact that we're picking him out more is something that, you know, he's a great player. Like Eamonn said, he's crucial to that team. The only other point I've got on this game as well was how crucial was that David Raya save against Insensei.
Yeah,
wasn't Enciso, sorry, but it was a hell of a save, wasn't it? I was going in top bins again, underrated, and we didn't really talk about that much. And that was, you know, if that had gone in, it'd have been a different fixture. It could have been a different fixture. It'd have got a home crowd behind him, and you know, so we're talking about the team there. And then my sort of final point, because you've touched on a lot of points I was gonna mention, and I've got a few questions really for the rest of you, but like Eamonn said, they look mature. I've noted a few things you said there. Look mature and sort of the emotional state of them, the team. And you said about Arteta's learning and what learning he's done there. But like I know I heard this elsewhere, but Arteta's less animated now. Is that because? Is there a reason for that calmness? And we used to be quite critical about Arteta, how animated he was, and did that player put? There's either two ways of looking at it. He's confident that he now knows what the players need to do, or has he had to wind himself back a bit because he's panicking the players a bit? You know, he's letting them get on with it. There's two ways to look at that. I don't know the answer to that, but there's certainly a calmness on that touchline. Like, I watch that bench cam all the time. I love watching it. I think it's a great thing to watch. You learn quite a lot from it. But just watching that, you can see this time last season, if you go through the bench, he's a completely different character on the bench as well. And I think, you know, I think something's just right, isn't it? And I think Arteta, like Lord and Arteta earlier, Eamonn, you know, it's the right thing to do because it is his doing. Despite what people have said and fans have got on his back for certain signings and stuff like that, look what he's brought in. He's brought in Leandro Trossard. He's brought in Kai Havertz. He's brought in Jorginho. You know, Jorginho, I couldn't understand it at the time, but look at him. He's crucial to this running the season. We need to keep him fit. We really do. So yeah, I think overall, you know, I think it's a fantastic result. Like, it was one that made me very nervous. It was one I don't know about you guys, but I sit there and write out all the fixtures we've got and try and work out where we're going to drop points. This was one of them. So I enjoyed filling that one in.
Stop doing that, Ozzy. It's bad for your mental
it's bad. I've got my note right in front of me, mate. I tell you, I do.
You'd only be onto Samaritans in a month's time. As
when I was growing up in the 70s, I used to be working out where we're going to get points, not where we're going to drop points.
but I'll sit there writing it. And I've got it down there, right? And I was right about the United game. Yes, I thought that was going to be a draw, so I was happy with that as well. But you know, I just think, you know, we treat every game by game. I know I'm not doing that, but we've got to treat every game by game and just see how we do. Look, we've got we've got Munich tomorrow, so to be excited, quarterfinals. I did sort of understand. I sort of took your point both about Zinchenko, Craig, and Eamonn about Zinchenko. One of the sort of questions: would you start him against Munich?
I would go with Kivior, personally.
How would I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking because, he's been solid for us, and I think how good he's been.
I think them having Sané and Coleman on the wings.
It scares the life out of me with Zinchenko playing. That's what I thought.
Sorry, Coleman probably won't start. Musiala, the young German lad, probably start there. So yeah, just
And they've got Gnabry as well,
later on, but I just maybe bring Zinchenko on for the last 20 minutes. We need a goal.
Yeah. And the only observation I've got about this match as well, like it's worth over the last 2 games, to be honest, with Jesus playing on the left. And I know he won us a penalty, and I don't know about you, but there's something there. His defensive duties seem to be. He seems to be doing a lot more defending than Martinelli would. And whether that's a tactic, whether that's something we're doing, but he seems to be causing a different kind of problem playing Jesus like that. Is it the fact that he can't play in central, or is it the fact that that's another tactical move? Because he does cause a lot of problems. I'd like his finishing to be better than it has been, but I think Jesus playing left midfield, I just wonder what.
Can I throw out a question based on that comment, Carl?
Yeah.
Think about this. If we don't know the answer to these questions and they're our team, how in the name of God do you think the opposition can work us out?
Exactly that. And that's what I'm saying. Is it tactical? Is it, because you're playing Jesus in a position he hasn't played in for, all season?
Well,
he's keeping me guessing. So
he did a press conference today with Arteta, so that would indicate that he's starting tomorrow.
Okay. So, yeah. So there you go.
I think he's at left wing.
But against Man City, he was very defensive, weren't he, Jesus? I thought he was a lot more reserved. And I could see that for a tactical change. And when you look at this Brighton side, were they thinking the same there? I don't know. It's an interesting point. But again, it's something, you got Martinelli, Trossard sitting there. Trossard came on and made an impact, as he normally does. But just seeing Jesus play out there, for City one, I really got it because he was really defensive, wasn't he?
I think Craig gave a really astute kind of take on what Trossard brings to the game, calmness and that. But he's a guy that knows the spaces to run into.
Intelligent.
So when he comes on with 20 minutes to go, there actually happens to be more of them available.
Yeah.
I think you can see that in his performances, can't you, as sub? Absolutely. Yeah. No, Trossard's an intelligent player. He knows where to run, and no. So yeah, in a nutshell, I think we've got something to look forward to in tomorrow night. Like I'm with, I was saying what Eamonn says. I'm there tomorrow night. I'm at the Bayern Munich game. Can't wait for it. And we've got another test on Sunday. But let's enjoy tomorrow night first before we move on to.
Do we all agree with Saturday night's man of the match, lads? Kai Havertz.
Oh, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how good are William Saliba and Gabriel as centre backs? By far the best centre backs in Europe, aren't they? Just incredible, isn't it? Where they've come. At
the moment they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It does feel like we can't concede, but let's.
What's really impressed me this season is how good defensively we are. We're not leaking goals. You're going in every game now, knowing that you're not really going to concede many. Because David Ray has just become so it's just
they can improve. They can get better.
They can only get better.
Well, Eamonn, with how good the defence has been this season, I say Johnny could play playing goal.
Jesus. I don't know, after that Ember's 5-a-side tournament, I'd be.
I'm not sure he didn't instill the same confidence in the back two in front of him as David Raya. But look, be worth a go. The last game of the season, Jonathan, we were 4 points ahead, and it's all done and dusted. Maybe we can get a sloppy,
Look, I wouldn't like to take all the limelight, I'd like to just sit back in the left back position. Soak up the pressure.
Jonathan is the goalkeeper that's most affected in the human race by gravitational pull that I've ever seen.
Eamonn's just jealous. I got man of the match in every game.
Yeah. You went down like a roll of lino.
I'd just like to tell all our listeners and viewers this will be Eamonn's last appearance before May the 19th.
Because I was playing in front of you.
Yeah, I couldn't see any of the defence. That's how good you were. I know we went on to have a good tournament that time. Don't think it's noted on the records.
Anyway, before you move on to the tomorrow night's game, he's back out of hospital. Hello, all Gooners. I am fitting well, and it is great to see the Arsenal whistle like the whirling wind in rumbustious relish. That's my assonance and alliteration. So Michael D says hello, everybody. Yeah, President of Ireland. You know,
We're definitely down to win when Michael D appeared tonight. Thanks again, Michael.
We mightn't have Conor McNamara, but we've got the President of Ireland. You know, yeah.
We'll have Simon Hurtis on next week.
I'll have to paint my face grey and put a barnet on for him. You know, yeah.
Eamon's going up for election if we win the league in May. What a fine speaker he will be. Yeah, on to tomorrow night, lads, 8 o'clock, Bayern Munich. I don't think there's really any better time to face them, but the German League and the Champions League, as we know, two completely different competitions. They can turn out, you know, you have to respect. They probably go for this tomorrow because they're with them not. I think next weekend if Leverkusen win, that's the league over in Germany. So this is all they have to play for, really. And with Harry Kane obviously coming back to the Emirates, we know his record as well. But defensively, I think we're a lot more solid. We should keep him out. But I'll come to you, Craig. Do you feel that we need a good first leg result to take to the Allianz to win the two legs?
Yeah, look, personally, I think we definitely owe Bayern Munich the fee here because they've basically bashed us a few times over the last 8 or 9 years. I always remember them 5-1 games when it was 19, 20 years of age. They weren't great times as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But look, that was a completely different team, and we probably fell apart in them games because Koscielny wasn't there. He seemed to be kind of the glue that held that team together. But yeah, look, I am quite confident about tomorrow. We're simply a better team. Bayern Munich have a good team, a very good team on paper. I don't think they have the kind of togetherness that our team have, and I don't think they have the same kind of style of player, the manager that we have. Tuchel, he's kind of a cup manager. This Champions League, so maybe I'm kind of being condescending there, but as I said, we're a better team. We're at home. There's no away fans, so I do expect us to get a result here. Now, in saying that, this Champions League, Premier League is totally different. Bayern Munich are experienced here in the Champions League. We're not. It's our fourth quarterfinal in 8-9 years, I think. Sorry, 14 years. Which is a very long time.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I'm sure our players are going to be very nervous and know that the pressure is on. But look, we had a good win Saturday. The momentum was with us, so it's going to be a difficult game. Bayern Munich, I don't really know what to expect from Bayern Munich. I don't know whether they will come out with an attack. If they do come out with an attack, that'll probably play into our hands because I think we'll just blitz them then.
Yeah.
If they sit back, and they try counter us, I'm not sure. They might, to be honest, if I had to guess, I think they might go the kind of same way that Porto did. Because if they come out and play us, I think we'd score 3 or 4 goals. I think their centre halves are very suspect. The rumours is that Eric Dyer and Matt De Ligt are going to play tomorrow for them. I think Upamecano and the Asian guy Min Jae got bashed a week. They got lost 3-2 to one of the bottom sides. So
yeah,
they're not going to start. So I think defensively they're there to be got at. I think we can definitely score goals here. They're a few very good offensive players. The likes of Sané, Harry Kane, the old pro and Thomas Muller, and the Kingsley Coman, Gnabry and Kingsley Coman. So it was a miraculous recovery how 7 or 8 of their players are missing on Saturday, and all of a sudden they're back for the game tomorrow anyways. So they must have some miracle fucking drink over in Germany. But anyways, no, look, I do expect us to win. It's going to be tight. I think we'll be nervy. I just hope we can't lose tomorrow. I think we need to get a positive result. I think it is important we win, because I think if we win by a goal or two, I think we'd be in a really strong position going to the Allianz for the return leg, because, I'd back us to, defend well like we did against City at the Etihad. I just think tomorrow is a must not lose. I do think we need to win, but it's important we don't lose the game. Predictions wise, I would probably go 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd probably go with 2 or 3-0 myself. I would be very we always play really well at home in the Emirates. Now I could be complete Joan and we'll end up losing this 4-3 or something. But I'll go to you, Eamonn. Munich score a lot of goals, but they concede a lot as well.
Yeah.
But as you said, Europe is a different ball game. What would you expect tomorrow night?
Well, you see, first of all, it's all about mentally, right? Because this is a big step up for us. So Man City are better than Bayern Munich. Liverpool are better than Bayern Munich. We're better than Bayern Munich. But to play a quarter-final of a Champions League while you're leading the Premiership, this is new terrain for us. And anybody who was at the Porto game, I can totally disabuse you of that 3-0 notion, Jonathan. So that's not going to happen. Because anybody who experienced anybody experienced the tension at the Porto game will know this is going to be much more of a game of chess. Munich are actually crap at the moment. Their midfield is shot to pieces. Their defence is all over the gaff. Harry Kane can obviously speak more German than English because he seems to be able to communicate where to put the ball. He's had a phenomenal season, but this is their kind of bread and butter. So it's different. It's different. So you can't just look at the two teams and say we're better than them. We should roll over them. It's a completely different set of circumstances. I'd be kind of like, I think if we got any kind of positive result, would be good, because I think we can score over there. Unlike going over there before, when you had this whole thing. And you're right, Craig. Thomas Tuchel, he's won this competition before with a crap Chelsea team. Think about that. He scares me, that fella. There's a bit of a Lee Harvey Oswald under that baseball cap. Bit of a Timothy McVeigh. So Thomas, what's your game plan? We will go out, and the plan is to execute the opposition, and after the game, we will have the funny times. He's a bit mad, but now they're used to this competition. But I think, look, it's almost like, do we get caught between a rock and a hard place? We're so emotionally invested in the title chase. You'd just wonder. Somebody put a question to me the other day, on the flight back after the Luton game, as an Arsenal fan, which would you rather, the Premier League or the Champions League? It's a difficult one to answer, but I think a lot of Arsenal fans would actually like the Premier League more because it's been so long, and we don't know what it's like to win the Champions League anyway. And then the other side of me is saying, which is, when we had the Invincibles, we dreamed of the Champions League. But look, I think we can go out and give a good account of ourselves. I think it'll be a cagey game, and we might just be able to shade it,
Ozzy, are you confident? You're going to be there tomorrow night. Are you confident of a positive home result?
I'm just going to say Champions League by a clear mile for me. I've watched us win the league, but yes, it's I know what you're saying, Eamonn, but yeah, I'm with Champions League on that. Look, I think Bayern, this is all they've got to win, right? This is all they've got to play for. Their season's pretty much, albeit over. So I think we're going to see a Bayern side that's going to try and frustrate, like Damon said, against Porto. They're going to try and come and frustrate us. I think they're going to try and keep it tight. They're not going to have any fans in the stadium, so they're going to try and do what they can to frustrate and and annoy us, I think, in this leg. So they can, because Vale if they can keep it to one goal, at least one goal, and Vale feel that they can do us at their place, which you know, is going to be a difficult fixture away as well. So I think they'll try and keep it tight. I do, you know, like Eamonn said, I'd go for 1-0. I'll take 1-0 if you offered it to me now, because I think we can go out there. But the play, it is different. Don't forget, we saw a different Arsenal team in the Champions League as well. At Porto, we saw a different performance there. So they look more at home in the Premier League, don't they? So I just, for me, like Craig mentioned, they've got a lot of good players. They have got a lot of good players. There's some players I wouldn't mind at Arsenal, if I'm honest. As a collective, they're not playing as a team, but they're also people that have played at the highest level for a long time, and over 2 matches could turn up.
Do you think tomorrow they'll sit back and counter, or do you think they'll come and attack us?
I think they'll keep it tight.
Yeah, I agree.
They'll keep it tight, and I think they'll try and exploit us in set pieces, if I'm honest. I think Thomas Muller, he did play, didn't he, at the weekend? I think.
Did, yeah.
Yeah. He worries me. Harry Kane always worries me. Harry Kane penalty, you can see it now, can't you? But yeah, it's you know, they've got players that can hurt us, and that's why we just need to be, you know, if we get an early goal, then what do we do? Do we sit up?
I have to say, I'm delighted Thomas Muller will be playing. He shot the pieces.
Yeah.
I've watched Bayern a few times this season.
It's just that experience, though. It's just that experience. Yeah.
He knows how to slow the game down, though. Yeah.
Declan Rice will run an Olympic Games around him.
They're an aging team as well, Munich, aren't they? You know, a lot of their teams, they've had experience as well.
John, here's my thing, right? We have a rookie manager who is getting better and better and learning, right? And he's not a rookie in the Premiership anymore, because he's been doing that for 4 or 5 years. But he's a rookie in this competition. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, right? Yeah. So, and it's a different set of circumstances. But let's see. If Arsenal don't get too kind of emotionally beat up by the situation because it's new to them, I think we can be okay. You know?
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of ways this game goes tomorrow. I think, as OZZY said, I think if we get an early goal, you know, like there's potential that we could get a few and hammer Bayern, but it's not as easy as that. But like, if Bayern come and frustrate us, and if we don't score in the first half, then our crowd gets a bit edgy. Then, you know,
that's what they're going to try and do. That's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and make us do that. They're trying to get us edgy. That's exactly what their game plan will be tomorrow. As soon as that frustration kicks in, then we'll try too hard.
Yeah, and like as both you have mentioned, they're not a great team, Bayern, but they have the experience there. But I do think if we do get an early goal, we could go on and get a couple of. But it's a hard game to predict, in my opinion.
It is.
I think we'll be much cagier than we normally are.
Yeah,
because of it's new to us, and we're not going to expose ourselves. We're not going to put the ball at risk as much as we normally do.
Yeah.
Because
we're in the Porto game, couldn't you? Just don't concede. That's all I was thinking, weren't they? Just don't concede.
Don't concede the fourth goal. Yeah.
I think Eamonn's right. That's a caginess, you see, isn't it? In our side in these games.
But with the away goals rule gone now, it's a different competition.
It is.
And it is
exactly
the 8 teams left in it are all quality, aren't they? Like, you couldn't ask for a better last 8 as well. So all roads lead to Wembley.
Eamon, the question: just if we were to get past Bayern, would you rather face City or Madrid?
Madrid. Yeah.
Simply because of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Who would you fancy, Craig?
It'll be Man City, by the way. Man City will paste Madrid.
It's a tough, it will be Man City.
I don't know.
I would like Madrid for the glamour of the game, but if it is City, you know, I think we have the beating of City, but it will take a lot.
There's your confident man, Craig.
You see, Jonathan's laughing away there, but you see, we've already beaten them over 2 legs.
That's my worry.
We've already beaten them.
Exactly.
The reason why I prefer Madrid The reason why I prefer
we have
Madrid
our
is
big name manager to spank City, that's for sure.
no. The reason why. By the way, I'll talk about that big name manager in a second.
As Eamon has said over the early shows, our
reason why I prefer Madrid is that I think a two-legged semi-final against Man City. Just saying
I
that.
think we should, as
By the way,
said, let's take game by game. We're pushing the boat out too much now. You know,
speaking of your big name manager, Pep,
we're sailing out now into Calais instead of to Dover. You know, and we need to keep things in check.
Speaking of big name managers, I forgot to raise a point about the great self-obsessed Pep, who has a pep in his step and always has had wealthy teams. By the way, always has.
He'd
right?
be a manager. We'd be proud of having.
What he did to Jack Grealish on the pitch after the Arsenal game was nothing short of disgraceful and classless.
In fairness,
no, I'm not joking.
It's just a tug and a fool.
What part of Pep Guardiola could not have done that in the dressing room?
He wants to be seen on TV, Eamon. It's all a show to him.
Yeah. Well, he went down my estimation.
Arteta does it his way. Let City do what they want, with their own players.
Absolutely, but all this great glory of the great Pep, who's never had anything other than the wealthiest teams in the world.
I think Pep is feeling the pressure though this season. I do think that. There's so much pressure on him constantly. Keep performing and winning trophies. And he's lost a lot of I think Gundogan and all.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to have Eric Ten Hag's brain. Did you hear this interview yesterday?
Deluded us.
Oh my God. Everybody knows the potential. We're like a rocket waiting to blast off this Superman United team. Jesus, imagine having that confidence. My God.
You're deluded as their supporters, mate.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, when your United fans are deluded and he's becoming deluded.
Well, like a rocket waiting to blast off.
But he said United controlled the whole game. They threw 2 shots on target compared to 50. Even Jurgen Klopp says, right, United thought they were going to beat us yesterday.
I texted a Liverpool pal of mine at half-time yesterday and I said, Sheffield United managed more shots at Anfield.
That's right, yeah.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
In the first half than they managed at home. Oh, shocking.
Like that, thank God they did get a draw yesterday, so it was a nice small favour.
The league. If we don't beat that that Man United team at Old Trafford, fuck me, they are absolutely terrible.
You see, it depends. Let's not get into predicting that game, but
yeah,
it depends on what way they play. They're just like they're like the Hammer House of Horrors. You just don't know what's coming out of the next door.
Yeah.
Man-eating plant.
So
Bruno Fernandes dressed as a tree.
They'll all be in the Rovers' return. Yeah, I know. I can say he's winning the league well before then, Craig. God, good Lord. That's next season. No, I'd just like to say as well, we've covered a lot tonight, lads. Just on Joe Kinnear, who passed away at the weekend. He died at 77 years of age. Would have been better known for the Crazy Gang, 1992 to 99. Eamon, your thoughts on Joe Kinnear's pass?
Well, I'm of an age now, lads, where I actually remember Joe playing for Ireland.
Do you?
I would have watched him in Dalymount Park.
Yeah.
Before the matches even switched to Lansdowne, and he was a tough, uncompromising London Irish right fullback, and and the Crazy Gang, I think, suited him. And he did a bit of punditry on RTE.
Did, yeah.
And he was very engaged. Like, I don't know the man from Adam, but as a kind of an onlooker, for the way he played the game, for the career he had, and for the way he carried himself as a manager and a pundit, you'd have to say he was a warm character who would be greatly missed. Yeah,
he's a good manager when you see the characters he had to do with Vinnie Jones. Oh. He done Arsenal a few times. Remember 1-0 at Highbury. I think Carl Coward scored a goal that day. And he
Speaking
had
of that team,
he made Kenny Cunningham somehow a professional.
I won't keep you, but I watched the documentary on that Wimbledon team, which is very, very worth watching. You know?
Yeah.
And all this talk about how tough Vinnie Jones was. Johnny Giles, by the way, used to say about Vinnie Jones, he's not that tough at all. He's tough when he goes in. No, he's tough when he goes in for a 60-40. You know, not 40-60. He was saying he wouldn't last pissing time with Peter Storey and Chopper. But that team, John Fashanu was saying to be the tough man.
Yeah.
But the likes of Dennis Wise would say, Lordy Sanchez scared the living daylights out of Fashanu and Jones put together. You know, Lordy Sanchez, he looks like something out of the Cray twins or something. You know what I mean?
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, we probably missed.
Anything you'd like to say in joking here, Ozzy? Sad loss.
Just a sad loss.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the crazy gang growing up, and you know,
and you're part of it now with the Dublin Arsenal Supporters podcast.
No, honestly, you know, I you know, a lot of respect for the crazy gang and what he did with Wimbledon. And yeah, no, it's a sad loss for football.
Yeah.
Top guy, and what I've seen of him, documentaries and that. Yeah, a lot of respect for him. So sad to see him.
Yeah, I think you would have been too young, Craig, I think, to remember when he was Wimbledon manager.
No, but before my time, but I don't know the time where he was the favourite kid to the Ireland job. I think when Steve Staunton got it, he was.
Yeah. That's right, that's right.
Right there, you know, 16, 17 years ago. And I don't know a lot about Joe Kinnear, but I'm sure he would have done a better fucking job than Steve Staunton.
Yeah. I'm the gaffer.
Well, no, I spoke to Jeremy Ali Adier on the phone there earlier. I asked him about Joe, and he said, "Je was a beautiful gangland, mate, in it, yeah."
We'll have to get Jeremy on the show just for that London accent. I think he's commentating tomorrow night as well. Anyway, right. We've covered quite a lot tonight. I'd just like to go back to what I started at the start of the show. That's Elevate Events presents an exclusive event featuring Liam Brady, Paul MERSON and Ray Parlour at the Clayton Hotel, Burrington Road on Friday, the 9th of August. And they're also in Cork the following night as well. Universe.com/events for tickets there. Martin will stick up all the details on that.
Surely that's an excuse for you to come to Dublin.
That's we were already talking about it beforehand.
Yeah. He probably won't, Craig. He'll do what he's told.
Well,
no appearance on this next season. No, since he's on the North Bank Summit now, he's changed. He's like Declan Rice, changed his sides when he wants. No, I would like to thank our UK gooner, Carl Osborne. You're rocking a great beard there. Thanks for coming on. Craig Smith, thanks for coming on. We hope to have you by the end of the season. No, hopefully no more meltdowns. And Eamonn Donnelly, as always, thanks for coming on. It's been a good show this week, lads. Plenty covered. Thanks to Michael D again. Looking well as always. Got a haircut there. You can catch our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel. So like, comment and subscribe. Have a good week, lads, and come on the Arsenal.
Come on the Arsenal.